Hello, boys and girls. A very good evening and welcome to this live session brought to you exclusively by Talent Sprint. I hope all of you are in good health and your preparation for your upcoming bank and SSC exams is in high gear. Now, you know that there is no agenda for the session that we have today. I actually have no clue what we are going to do in this session, which has been named as an induction session. Now, this is basically just to interact with you, have a pep talk, and discuss anything but preparation, right? So please make sure that you don't post any subject-related questions in the chat or anything to do with quantitative aptitude or reasoning. While we can discuss about strategies or what should you do on a daily basis to improve your score and boost your chances, but nothing in terms of real content, right? Because we already have enough sessions going on for those, and I'm sure you are participating in those sessions as well. So let's keep this like a very general session to start with, and then we will figure out what we have to do as we move forward. All right. Now, for the benefit of those who have recently enrolled in our programs, let me mention that there's this chat box which is available right beside your video screen. So you can use that to interact with us. And I'm sure that is the most important piece or the tool that we have to use today, because there is no presentation that I'm going to share with you, right? I don't have any questions to be discussed, right? I don't have any problems from quantitative aptitude or puzzles from reasoning that I'm going to solve here, right? So there's no presentation. It's just the chat that I will look at your questions and queries, and interact with you, right? So that is going to be the medium of instruction and communication today. So make sure that you use it to the fullest and get the most out of it, right? I see that a lot of you have already joined the chat. Let me read out a few names. We have Sagar Singh, Kamal, Gayatri, Praveen, Ashish Singh, Manish, and many others there, right? So glad to see you all in this session, right? By the way, I've got my cup of coffee, and you also can arrange your own coffee there so that it looks like a chat over coffee, right? I wish we could meet in person and get to catch up, but until that happens, let's do it virtually, right? So this is like a coffee session, but yeah, we have to arrange our own coffee. So please make sure that you have your chai or coffee at your hand there, and let's get started. So a lot of you there, thank you so much for joining in this session. We have Nagarupa and Thiru, Chandrahas Yadav, Piyush Vyas, Sumed, and many others there. Sagar Singh says, I just got my latte, so good. And then we also have Balchandran who's just joining. So thank you very much for taking time out for this session, right? And let's get started. I think you can just start posting your questions or queries that you have, not the subject questions, let me remind you. And let's see how do we just go about it. Yeah. So Gokul Krishnan, Harshit, Shruti, Ashish Singh, Surya Prakash, and Aditya Mohanty are the ones who have started interacting to the chat box. Yes, so I think the one thing that we have to ensure is that you use this chat box that we have here. Otherwise, it is going to be of no use, right? I mean, usually in our problem-solving sessions that we do on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, even if you don't use the chat box, you get to know something, right? Because questions are being discussed, right? Whether it is me or Sylvia, we have presentations with questions that have been posted in the forum, and we just keep solving those questions, right? So you can be quiet and get to learn through the questions that are being solved there. But the same behavior today is going to result in nothing, right? So you have to make sure that you engage yourself and interact with me and also with your peers who are there in the chat, right? I'm sure you already have known each other through these live sessions that we do, right? I usually see that before starting the live class, you guys join us in advance and start interacting with each other about your strategy, about your preparation, the place that you belong from, and things like that. So it's actually great to see that there's this is kind of becoming a forum for all of you. And though you're sitting at your own place, right, technically disconnected, I mean, physically disconnected, but yes, connected through technology and getting to interact like any other classroom session there. So I think I have a question for all of you. I would be glad to know what places do you belong from, right? I mean, a recent study that we had done showed that we have students from about 668 towns and cities in the country. And I thought that's like amazing, right? People from 668 towns and cities are using our platform to get ready for bank and SSC exams. And then yes, we also have other programs like preparation for CTET, which is the Central Teachers Eligibility Test, and then some IT career prep programs. So I think 668 towns is huge, but then we also got to know the number of districts in the country, and we felt okay, we have a long way to go. So it will be great if you tell me which place are you from. Yeah, so I see answers started coming in already. Kolkata, Mumbai, Kerala. Look at this, no? All parts of the country, right? Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, right? Rajahmundry. Somebody said Hyderabad. Aditya is from Hyderabad. We have Rashmi, who's from Hubli in Karnataka. Priti is from Haryana. And then we have someone from MP. Okay, the chat is running too fast, by the way. So, I mean, it's great to see that you're all connecting to the chat and it's getting flooded with the responses. But yeah, hard for me to read each response there. So, Tirupati, Madhya Pradesh, Bhavnagar, Gujarat, Lucknow, Mehbubnagar, Indore, Tamil Nadu, Mysore, Gujarat, right? Gurugram, which is in Haryana. And then we have somebody from Kurnool in Andhra Pradesh. I just recall that I had also seen Siliguri in the list there. You can see, right? All parts of the country. Trichy in Tamil Nadu. We have Nidhi who has asked us a question. Says, I want to ask if this session will get recorded or not. Well, we may record the session. In fact, the recording is going on parallelly, but I'm not sure if we'll be archiving this into your account because this is just a casual interaction, right? So if you're assuming that you miss it and then you'll get to watch the archive, I don't think that's going to happen, right? And again, like I said, this is something new that we have tried out today, right? A new initiative. So we'll figure out what needs to be done as we move forward, right? Sagar Singh says, did you enjoy yesterday's match? Well, now that's an interesting topic, right? You know that we were in the live session and this semi-final match of Champions Trophy between India and Bangladesh was going on. It actually was not very exciting in my view, right? I mean, it was, yeah, I was having a chat with some of my colleagues. So, the point that came up was it was actually not a match, but a mismatch, right? Now that sounds a little arrogant, but yeah, we were like truly dominating from the, I would say not from the very beginning of the match, but yeah, at least from the second inning onwards, we knew that it's like one-sided, right? In fact, many of you were posting the score in the chat box almost every over. So I could sense that, yeah, it's like a game which we have already won. So yeah, one-sided, not very exciting, like I said. But I'm sure the finals is gonna be really, really exciting and interesting, right? So we'll wait for that. And I think you guys also should watch that match, right? Forget about your preparation. Yeah, kitna padhoge? Match dekhna, right? India versus Pakistan in a Champions Trophy final is something that's happening for the first time. I mean, I would say India-Pakistan gully match also would be like more than a World Cup final, but then this is actually a ICC final, right? So it's really going to be a very, very interesting game. Yeah, I see many others that Jia, Manish Bhattar is from Bhubaneswar, by the way, right? And we have Suraj who says, I think no one is from my town, Yavatmal. Well, I don't know where this place actually is, but yeah, if there's anyone from Yavatmal, please respond. Suraj will feel good about that, right? We have Nirmal who's from Jharkhand. And okay, Sharmila has asked me a question. Not Sharmila, but Shamila. Why did you not join any banking sector? Well, that's an interesting one. Why did I not join a banking sector? Well, I think, to be honest, I tried taking a bank exam. I had cleared it, by the way, right? Not that I want to brag about my performance there, but yes, I did not join because I thought, getting people join the bank gives me more kick than me working in a bank itself, right? So I thought, yes, I should. I don't belong there, and I actually, found calling and teaching. I mean, although I never wanted to be a teacher, but yeah, when I started getting this feedback from the students that they understand what I teach and it's very clear and they started liking it, I thought this is where I belong. So I just didn't pursue that after that, right? Yeah, so let's not get into that discussion, but glad to see that you have all responded about about the place that you belong to, right? And I'm sure there are many others who are not started interacting, but they'll do so very soon. Sagar Singh, okay, I'm not reading that question. I would do selective reading, by the way, let me tell you. I would not like to answer all the questions in this public forum. Gia says you're the only hope of my life to clear the bank exam. Well, I think that is not going to lead you anywhere. Believe me, like I always say, what we at Talent Sprint do is less than 10% in your success, right? I mean, 90% or more than that is in your hands, right? All we are trying to do is get the right set of tools to you and, just give you the best of content, the smart methods and techniques which you can learn from and then practice to perform in the exam, right? And boost your chances. So I would say yes, only 10%, not more than that, right? Less than 10%, in fact, is the credit that you should be giving it to us, and the rest is in your hands. So, it's like you are the creator of your own destiny. So you have to just keep practicing. And I think more than learning, it's about practice. Bank exams or SSC exams, or any competitive exam for that matter, is about practice. The more you practice, the easier it gets, right? So practice is something that you will have to do. I or anybody at Talent Sprint or anyone for that matter on the planet cannot practice on your behalf, right? We can tell you what needs to be done, but we cannot practice for you. So if you do that, you will get it. Otherwise, you'll not. I mean, as simple as that. So keep practicing. I think that's what I would say. But thanks for the feedback. Okay, somebody I remember had asked me about Sylvia ma'am, right? Because I can also see Snigdha Rani posting about, are you sure about her health? And yeah, many others had also asked about how Sylvia doing now. So I don't remember. Has she not taken a session after she has met with that accident? No. I think her first session after or post that that accident that she had met is only going to be tomorrow, Saturday at 6 p.m., which is going to be on English language. So yeah, let me give you an update. She's doing well. In fact, the morning update that I had when we had a discussion this morning was that she's visiting the doctor today to get one more round of check done, and I'm sure she'll be back with full energy tomorrow for your doubts clarification session on English language, right? And yes, thanks for all your wishes. I've conveyed your wishes to her, so that probably has led to her speedy recovery. Gayatri says she's taken a session, so yeah, if she's already taken a session, then you know how she's doing, right? Okay, so I'm just looking at the chat, by the way. Good to know the different places that you belong to. And I think before we move on to the next question, let me give an update that I don't know if I missed someone who's from this place called Haldwani, right? Haldwani, is a town in the district of Nainital, which falls in Uttarakhand. So the team Talent Sprint is going to be in Haldwani on the 27th of June, 27th of this month, which I think is 27th is what? 27th is going to be a Tuesday, right? Yeah. So the team Talent Sprint and yeah, all of us will be in Haldwani for a free seminar on 5 habits that you must kick to succeed in bank and SSC exams, right? To crack these exams. And I'm afraid that I don't have any more details about the venue and all, but I'm sure you'll get to know through our YouTube channel and other social media platforms like the Facebook page, right? So if you are from Haldwani, or if you know people who are from Haldwani, or if you have friends or family in Haldwani, please let them know about this seminar and ask them to join us in this session. I'll be more than happy to meet you guys in person, right? Especially those who all have already enrolled for our program. It will be very exciting, and we can actually have this real coffee together. I mean, of course, this coffee is real, but chat over coffee. So please make sure that if you are from that part of the country, join us in that free seminar. I'm sure you will be intimidated about the other details very soon. Okay. Ashish Singh mentions that, okay, he said, sir, when revamped English content. So I'm assuming that he's talking about revamping the content in the English language course that we have. And by the way, Sylvia is working on that. Whole lot of new videos are getting recorded. I'm sure very soon you'll find English content also getting revamped and some changes being done there so that you can enhance your learning and it becomes a lot more effective, right? I think you can ask these questions on English language to Sylvia. I mean, she knows what she's doing there. She will also conduct one such session very soon. So just check with her. I'm sure she'll be able to give you a whole lot of details. Sagar Singh says, why not Talent Sprint is heading to LKO? Now, what is LKO? I'm sure you're talking about some place. I'm assuming it is Lucknow. But if you can expand that, it's going to be very helpful. Praveen says, I think coffee is over. No, I have enough coffee here. This is a big mug, although it's close to getting over, but I have enough for at least the next few minutes. And I'll get it refilled if I need more. Yeah, so I also know that tomorrow is your RBI Grade B exam, right? 17th of June. So I think all the very best to those who are going to appear for this exam tomorrow, RBI Grade B. And I'm sure given the amount of hard work and efforts that you've put in the last couple of months, you're going to do well and come out with flying colors. In fact, I usually ask you to leave the session, a day before the exam, right? I mean, had this been a regular problem-solving session, I would have said, please get lost. Although that sounds blunt, but that's what I usually do, right? You should not be joining a preparatory session or a session on doubts clarification 1 day or 2 days before your exam. I mean, I don't think it's going to help you in any way. And more often than not, what happens is, we end up discussing something which you're not aware of, and that adds to your nervousness, right? You're like, oh God, ये तो पता ही नहीं था, कल exam लिखना है, कैसे होगा? ये concept मुझे आता ही नहीं है, and that just adds to your nervousness, right? And it gets to that stage of panic. So I usually say, move out of the session and enjoy, right? At least 1 day before the exam, you should completely cut from your preparation and practice. But we are not learning anything here, right? I'm just like chai pe charcha types. So better ho yaar, kya hone wala hai. But do well. I think the one thing that I would say is, which I usually say, right? These competitive exams is not just a test of your knowledge, right? It's more about how you behave in that limited 1 hour or 2 hours of time, right? It is a test of your state of mind. So you have to make sure that you're calm and composed during the exam and you're relaxed so that you can give your best shot. I'm sure all of you have heard of stories, and you'll have people in your circle, or maybe you have yourself been this victim where you actually know how to solve these questions, right? You've prepared thoroughly, you've prepared really well, but you just cannot perform in that exam because of that sheer pressure that you have, right? I mean, so many people taking the exam, so much of competition, and those kind of things which hampers your performance. So I think that is something that you must avoid. See, if you have not been able to perform because you have not prepared, then it's absolutely fine. मतलब अब जब पढ़ाई नहीं था तो कैसे produce करोगे exam में कुछ भी, right? Which is okay. But if you're prepared well and because of that pressure you were not able to perform, then that's something which we should try and avoid, right? And if it needs a little bit of practice, you got to do that, right? And I think the only way to practice that is to not prepare 1 day before the exam, right? I mean, I know I've been to examination centers many times. The reporting time is 10 a.m. These guys have reached there by 9 o'clock, and they're like flipping pages in those, I don't know where they buy those big fat books from, right? And they're like continuously flipping those pages till like 9:59. मतलब क्या करने वाले हो? 1 minute पहले exam के you cannot be doing a revision, right? Or you cannot be doing anything for that matter. You should in fact be just, you should be surrounded with a lot of positive energy. I think books will only add to your nervousness. So don't do all that. You see, you know that you're doing well, you have prepared well, so you will do well. And you also know that I've not put in my efforts, I could have done better, then just live with that. I mean, सिर्फ एग्जाम के 2 मिनट पहले अगर आप रिविजन करते रहोगे 2 मिनट पहले तो it's like, I don't know. I'm not getting the right term for this, but it's like झूठा दिलासा देना, right? कि हाँ मैंने तैयारी की है. What? ऐसे नहीं होता है. So, relax. I think that's key. By the way, another update is that this CGL exam notification which was released, the last date was today, 16th of June was the last date to apply, but this morning we got to know that the date has been extended to 19th of June. So you have got 3 more days to apply for this exam. And if you haven't done that already, please make sure that you complete your application at the earliest possible, right? I think good chance for you to apply if you have not done that. So please complete your application, okay? Okay, Chandra has asked a question which says, can we expect a special emphasis on SSC CGL this month? Well, definitely, Chandra's focus now is on the SSC CGL exam because that's the next big exam coming up. It is tentatively scheduled in the first 2-3 weeks of August. So we are going to do some special sessions towards the end of June and in July, which will be focused on your SSC CGL exam, right? So we'll get updated soon. So just hold on for a couple of more days for that update, right? Abhishek says, please talk something in Telugu. I never saw you talking in Telugu. Well, I wish I could speak Telugu that fluently, but I'm not going to do that, right? Please don't ask me to speak in Telugu. Hindi is what I can try, but Telugu nahi, right? And how does that matter? Vinod says, tomorrow I have the NICL Assistant Language Test. Good. So good luck for that test, Vinod, and I'm sure you're all relaxed about it. Saroj Kumar says, I've started preparation only from Talent Sprint and I'm not dependent on any other offline class. Please guide me how to study to crack PU exams and what should be the strategy. Well, I think many others have also asked that question, right? I was just looking at that running chat which says, how do we, get ourselves ready for this bank exams, bank PU exam, or the IBPS exam, which is scheduled in October, or we have got 3 months left for the exam. So how do we go about it? So I think one major update that has happened in your learning account at Talent Sprint is this section that we have added called today's preparation, right? And I think that's something which will help you get ready for these exams in a guided manner, right, or in a guided fashion. Because the feedback that we got from our students was, you've got a lot of content, right, more than 1,000 videos for this subjects of quantitative aptitude, reasoning, English, etc. But how do I go about it, right? Where should I start from? And the platform was actually meant to be in a way that it guides you by itself, right? I mean, if you see that quantitative aptitude is the first course, we are in a way trying to tell you that you should start with quantitative aptitude. Again, the way the topics were sequenced in this course of quantitative aptitude, we're telling you that yes, you have to go about it in that sequence. Again, within the topic, we had like introduction video followed by model 1, model 2, and so on up to model 8, 9, depending on the topic there, right? So all this was done just to make sure that you don't find it difficult to learn, right? I mean, it's like self-guided. But now that there is a lot of content that has got added, right? Every week we do 3 live sessions, we chop all these videos, add it to your respective topics. I think it was much needed that we introduce a study plan, an ideal study plan. I mean, you are not forced to follow that. And we got this feedback from a lot of our students through the survey that we conduct every month. So we thought it's high time that we include something like this. And with that intent, this today's preparation section has been added. We have been doing continuous changes there because it's only a couple of weeks back that it was included in your account, right? In your learning account. So the whole idea is that this will tell you what you need to do for the day, right? So just log into your account, see what has it got for you for the day, right? So it will have a test on quantitative aptitude, one test on English language, this one test on reasoning, there's a test on current affairs, right? There are words of the day to be learned. There is this current affairs digest that you have, right? Then there's this topic that you have to focus on, right? In fact, we have also added something called as the speed math test, right, where there are about 20 questions just based on pure numbers, right? 2-digit multiplication, addition, division, subtractions, etc., etc. So you just got to, do that numerical calculation, right? Mental calculation, and then punch in your answer, right? I mean, this is not multiple choice again, intentional. In fact, the feedback that we had from a couple of students, and in fact, also from the team, that should we be giving options with these speed math questions? But then the idea was, the moment you give options to those questions, you will start applying various techniques like unit space method, root digit method, etc., to find out what the answer is. But that's not something that I want you to do, right? I want you to do the complete calculation mentally and then given the full answer. So that's like fill in the blank, which you have to do on a daily basis. So what this today's preparation course is actually telling you is that if you have no clue how to go about it, if you don't have your own strategy, if you just don't want to take your own decision about which topic should you be focusing today, do this, right? But then very clearly there is a note which says that, depending on your subject knowledge of various topics and concepts, and depending on depending on the amount of time that you can spend, the availability of you to go through those topics, you are free to choose, right? While the section may say today you have to learn time and distance, you may already be very good at it, or you would have probably learned that topic already. So you're not forced to go through that, right? You can just choose your own topic there. So I think just go with that course if you have no strategy, right? And I'm sure for your SSC CGL exam, which is about 45 days away from now, and your IBPSQ exam, which is scheduled in October 2017, you have enough time to complete your preparation, right? And all said and done, I think it's about learning all these concepts as early as possible, right? And practice. I have mentioned this already, right? The more you practice, the easier it gets. So just keep practicing. I think that's the key. Okay. Don't run behind solving wrong problems, right? The one thing that I've realized in my years of experience over getting students ready for this bank and SSC exams is that, many times I find that people are trying to solve the wrong problem. Like for example, if I ask you a question, let's say that, what is the most important thing that you must do to improve your score in quantitative aptitude? Now, I'm sure you know what I'm heading to, right? Because you've been a part of our live sessions a number of times already. But whenever I meet a fresher or someone who's just started preparing for bank exams or who's planning to appear for bank exams, the obvious answer that I get is, we should know the shortcut formula, we should practice more, and we should solve previous papers and things like that. But nobody ever tells me that I am bad in calculation and I need to work on that. Right? Believe me, I have probably told this about 827 times so far, and this would be 828th time if my count is correct, that the one reason why most of the students fail to score more in quantitative aptitude, or actually fail in quantitative aptitude, is not because they don't know how to solve the problem. It is because they are poor in calculation, right? And this is one thing which we don't realize, right? I mean, if I ask you what is important, like I said, you will say shortcut formula, right? I mean, shortcut होना चाहिए, इसको 30 सेकंड में कैसे सॉल्व करें, right? और ये प्रोसेस तो बहुत लंबा लग रहा है, right? इतने स्टेप्स तो हम नहीं लिखने वाले एग्जाम में. So you are trying to get those ideas, those techniques, which are not going to help. I mean, I am not denying for a second that shortcut formula is not important, right? Shortcut formula zaruri hai. You have to learn those formulae, but depending solely on that shortcut formula is not going to lead you anywhere, right? I mean, understand, in this whole process of solving a question in aptitude, there's this one section where you have to play with numbers. Simplification is to be done, right? You put in numbers in your formula, do some simplification, and then mark the answer. And this is where you end up actually wasting a lot of time, right? I mean, you have to read the question. You have to read the question a couple of times sometimes, right? Because understanding the question is very important. Then you have to, think about what formula to be used, what technique to be applied. Then you substitute the values, do the calculations. So all this, in all the step-by-step process, you waste a lot of time. You waste a lot of time, not about spending time, but you waste a lot of time when you're doing that simplification. The bigger problem is we don't know that we're wasting our time there. I mean, we don't realize. If I ask you, do you know how to multiply? You'll say yes. Do you know how to add? You'll say yes. Do you know how to subtract or divide? You'll say yes, I know. I've learned that in 4th standard itself. I know how to multiply. And if I ask you what is 36 into 42, you'll say, yeah, 36 into 42. 2 6 are 12, 2 3s are 6 plus 1 7, and 4 2s are 4 6 are 24, 4 3s are 12, and all that. and then you do that drama on paper, right? And then you say, yes, I've got the answer, which is not the way you do it, right? I mean, if this is what you do, then you're already out of the race, let me tell you, right? These bank exams or SSC exams for that matter are highly competitive, right? And it's difficult to crack these exams, not because the questions are difficult. Of course, the question pattern is also changing now. The difficulty level or the complexity has gone up, is going up year by year. But then it is difficult not really because of the type of questions asked, but because of the competition that we have. I mean, you know that tens of lakhs of people appear for these exams every year. Right? I mean, one SBI PU exam where there are 2,200 jobs, there are about 25 lakh people, 26 lakh people who applied. Now you can imagine what the competition is, right? For every single job out there, there are 1,000 people who are writing this exam. And that's the competition you have to face. For one job, there are 1,000 people writing the exam. So it's obvious that 999 people are going to get rejected. In every lot of 1,000 students, 999 or 1,000 aspirants, 999 aspirants are going to get rejected. Only one will get the job. And by doing all these things, you're making it easier for you to be a part of that group of 999. Right? I mean, you have to think differently. You have to do things differently if you want to be that one person, right? I mean, while we usually take great advantage of being in a democratic country where majority is always important, but I think when it comes to these exams, you have to be a part of the minority, right? And if you do things which everybody else does, then how are you different? I mean, you have to be really different. You have to do things differently. You have to perform differently. You have to prepare differently. You have to think differently so that you can be that one person out of those 1,000 students who will get the job. And by doing 36 into 42 on paper, I'm telling you, you are very easily qualified for the other group, right? The 999 other group. So, think different. Why do you think you are failing in this exam? Why do you think it's difficult? Not because you don't know the formula. It's because you are poor in calculation, right? So, I'll be repeating myself if I say this, but I would still love to do that. And the advice is that, spend at least 45 minutes every day, at least 45 minutes to 60 minutes every day in just playing with numbers. Just think of 2-digit numbers and do this calculation. I mean, multiply, add, divide, subtract. Do it for 21 days, not more than that, right? 2-digit numbers, 3-digit numbers, additions, subtractions, multiplications, simple calculations. I mean, I'm not asking you to think of numbers like 764 into 298. Your life will become miserable. I mean, 794 or 764 into 298 is not that easy, and you're better off doing it on paper. But if the question is 74 into 66, then you cannot put it on paper. I mean, 74 into 66 is what? 4,884, right? And that's how it should be. I've not memorized the answer. I'm doing the calculation on the spot. And believe me, if I can do this, even you can do that, right? So all I'm trying to tell you is keep simple things simple. If it is difficult, we'll put it on paper. But if it is easy and you end up doing it on paper, then you are going in the wrong direction, right? Or forget about 74 into 66. That's anyway. I mean, at least it looks to be difficult, but actually very easy to solve. But I've actually seen people when we used to do classroom sessions, students who do 12 into 23 on paper. Now, that's not a mistake. Let me tell you, that's a crime. If you multiply 12 with 23 on paper, then you are out of the race. You're just wasting your time by appearing in these exams, right? So I think the advice is spend time on the right things, right? So if you ask me, how do we crack exams? Is 3 months sufficient? Is 3 hours a day sufficient? I have no answer to that, right? It depends from person to person, right? I mean, it depends on where you stand today. What is your competency level, right? How much you know about these topics, right? How good are you in aptitude or in reasoning or in English language? All I can say is, it's not about 3 hours versus 6 hours. It's about what you do in those 3 hours or 6 hours that you spend, right? Doing the right things is very important. Okay. So that's the advice. Just do the right things and practice. Practice is the key. There's no doubt about that, right? I mean, just keep practicing. Okay. Because somebody's asked, which state are you from, right? Gayatri says, which state you're from. Well, I am from this state called Telangana. I'm sure You have heard of that, right? Your contact number? Well, let me keep you posted that I don't use a mobile phone, so please don't ask me for my contact number. Okay, there's one suggestion that we have got from Venkat. Let me take this up, right? He says it would be better if you don't erase daily tests after 1 week. Please make it available for all days test, please. No, I think I'll not take this suggestion, and I'm telling you right here upfront that we will not keep more than 7 days of daily test, right? If you have missed it, you have missed it. There are certain things that you need to do on a daily basis, understand? And if you cannot do that, then you have lost it. I mean, why do you want the daily test to be there forever, right? 7 days of tests are there. You're supposed to come today, take those tests, and come tomorrow again for the daily test of the next day. That should be the ideal thing. But, understanding the fact that it's not possible for everybody to maybe take this test every day, we are keeping 7 days of history. So even if you have missed it today, tomorrow, day after, for next 3, 4, 5, 6 days, you can come on the 7th day and finish all these tests. But more than that, I think makes no sense, right? I mean, each test is for 10 minutes, and every day you have 4 or 5 such tests, so 50 minutes of daily test. In 7 days in one shot would be 350 minutes. That means if you come on 7th day, you'll have to spend 350 minutes in just taking those daily tests, which is close to 6 hours. And after taking 6 hours of tests, I am sure you will be not in the right state to take one more test, right? So if you do it in 7 days, well and good. Otherwise, forget about it. No problem. Okay. Okay, I think important question there about the platform. So I would like to take this. This is from Shesha Srinivas, who says, I'm new to this website. I missed your live session yesterday. And okay, where is that? I missed your live session yesterday. So where can you see that video? So Srinivas, the process that we have is, even if you have missed a live session, you don't really miss it because we add the recorded video of that live class into your learning account, right? And this is usually done in 24 working hours. So the live session that we had done yesterday at 6 o'clock will get added to your account by end of the day today, right? And all you need to do is just go to that document that we add into your learning section, see what are the questions that we discussed, and you can just click and go to the respective video which has been uploaded, right? Okay, now let me ask you one more question. I think I've already got a lot of responses about your about the place that you belong to. Tell me, again, this is just out of my curiosity. I would like to know, what is your education background? I mean, what is your highest qualification? Are you like guys who have done your engineering and then appearing for bank exams, or your commerce graduates, or what exactly it is? And why did you choose to get into banking sector, or for that matter, take up SSC exams and get a government job, right? Why this career choice? And yes, what is your education qualification? So let me read these responses. Arts is the first thing that I see, then MCA, BTech, BE Mechanical, MBA, BCom Honors, BTech, MBA, BCom Honors. Okay, don't spam the chat box, right? I'm just trying to read as many responses as possible. If you have answered it once, just leave it there, right? MCA, BE, BCom in accounts, BSc, yeah, M Pharmacy, MTech, yeah, MCA plus NET, BSc Chemistry, then BTech, a couple of BTech graduates there. Then Hitesh says, I've done my BTech. Yashwant says, I've done my BE and I've got 4 years of experience. Achha, by the way, this draws my attention to one more question, right? How many of you are working professionals? Let me just understand that. How many of you are working professionals, and how many of you are, actually in the final year of your graduation? And are you like out of college and now preparing for bank exams. And Vinod has mentioned that he has done his B Tech. I don't know which university in the country gives you that degree, but doesn't look like a typo, right? Control your emotions, Vinod. I've read your comment as well. So Navya says, I'm working. Yashwant Kumar has confirmed that he's working. Harshit is working in a private bank. Somebody says, I've resigned. Kumarasan is working. Venkat says is working. So you guys are like, most of you are working, right? Shamila says, I work as a software engineer. Vaishnavi has resigned. Deepak says, I used to work in a call center, right? Navya says, I'm working and I always miss the live sessions here because of my working hours. Oh, that's sad, but like I've just mentioned, you don't really miss anything, right? I mean, you can attend the live session, not the live session, but you can watch those archives the next day, right? Sai is not working. I'm a 2016 passed out. Revati Sharma has graduated last year. I'm already working in Union Bank of India as assistant manager, and this is Nitesh Kumar. Nitesh, I'm sure you can throw some light on how your work life is, because most of us here are aspiring to be a banker, right? And you have mentioned that you're working in Union Bank of India as assistant manager. So it looks like you started as a PO in the Union Bank of India. So how's it going? And why is that you are still preparing, right? I mean, Union Bank of India is a good. I mean, of course, you should aspire, continue to move up the ladder in your career. But what's your motivation behind preparing for bank exams or SSC exams while you're already working as an assistant manager in Union Bank of India? Gautam says, I'm working. I took an online course. Can you prepare within limited time? My target is RRBPO. Well, I think, Gautam, a few minutes back, I was talking about the same thing, right? It's not about the amount of time that you have left for your exam. It's about what you do in that limited time to maximize or to capitalize on your preparation, right? So these are like very general questions for which I really don't have an answer. I mean, if you ask me, is it possible to crack a bank exam in 3 months? I would say yes. Is it possible to crack a bank exam in 1 month? I would say yes. Do we need to prepare for 2 years to crack a bank exam? I would say some people need 2 years. I mean, there are people who are like preparing hard for like 2-3 years already, and still not been able to crack. I mean, I'm sure they will do in their attempts next, but it depends on the person. There's no general answer to this question, right? I mean, I just cannot answer that. So do the right things, and I'm sure you'll be able to crack it easily. Okay, I think we have got the answer from Susmit Shetty, who says, I'm preparing for specialist with me. Looks like there's some confusion, right? Tanya has just joined and she was under the impression that the session was at 6 p.m. and she's late for this. Well, yeah, I think initially it was scheduled at 6 p.m., but the time was then changed to 5, and I'm sure all of you would have got an SMS reminder about the same, right? So Tanya, sorry if you have not got the reminder. I'm sure you would have got one. But yes, it was meant to be at 6 p.m., but due to other challenges that we had, we changed it to 5 p.m. But don't worry, हम क्या कर रहे थे? कुछ नहीं, सिर्फ चर्चा, right? And not really चर्चा. सारा time तो सिर्फ locations और graduation पूछने में निकल गया. I don't know what I was talking on this way. Okay, so what next? Priyanka says, I'm a college teacher. We have got some feedback from Pooja. Pooja says, today's preparation, please provide solutions for quantitative aptitude questions. Well, Pooja, if I'm not wrong, solutions for those quant questions are already there. But I would still ask the content to make sure that solutions are made available if they are not already. But as far as I know, solutions for all the questions that we include in your daily tests are there, right? And by the way, this reminds me of another update, which is about the timed daily test that you wanted, right? All these daily tests which we have started since the last 1.5 months were not timed. I mean, they were like 20 questions which you have to solve, and there's no time limit. And the feedback that we got, rightly so, was that if there's no time limit, how do we know if you're doing it the right way? Because it's not about getting the answers; it's about getting the answers in the right amount of time. I mean, if you spend half an hour to answer 10 questions, then it makes no sense. So you should be given appropriate amount of time so that you do that in that environment, right? 10 minutes, 10 questions, or 10 minutes, 20 questions, and things like that. So finally, today onwards, we have started timed daily tests, and you can see that each test will now have limited time, right? So you got to be really quick while answering those questions. So that's one more problem that got solved, and I'm sure you would appreciate that, right? Gayatri says, in Telangana, where do you stay? Well, I'm currently in the city of Hyderabad. Don't ask me where exactly in Hyderabad. Yeah, in the city of Hyderabad, and the studio is in our Hyderabad office. We also have a studio in Chennai, which is usually used by Sylvia. The one in Hyderabad is where I take the live sessions from. Okay, Rishika Menon says, even I thought it was at 6. So tell me, guys, are you not getting this SMS reminder that we send out? I think long back, about 4 or 5 months ago, this discussion came up in one of the problem-solving sessions that we do, that that you're not getting the SMS reminders, and the most common reason was the number that you have shared with us is incorrect, right? Or you are using a different mobile number now. So there's this option called Edit Profile in your dashboard, right, where you can go and update your mobile phone number. So the question that I have is, are you guys not getting SMS reminders for these live sessions and all your mock exams that we conduct, or for that matter, the notifications or results which are declared for different exams? If not, please make sure that you update your mobile number in your dashboard using that edit profile link that we have, so that you start getting the reminders. John Master has asked me a question: do you have a touchscreen laptop? Well, yes. Looks like you're able to see me using the touchscreen. Yeah, so this is actually a touchscreen laptop that I have, and I'm sure that's not going to help you score more in the exam. And Singha Rani has mentioned something there in her own language, which I don't understand, right? It will be, looks like that question is not for me. If it is for me, I would request to post it either in English or in Hindi only. Pratik has given a suggestion, right? He says, please include a submit button at the end of daily test. So I'm sure if you have taken the daily test for today, you will know that there is a submit button available, right? It's like any other test that you have, right? The full length test or the all India mock exams or the subject test that we had, right? So you have a submit button from today onwards for your daily tests. So that problem is already solved. Okay, we have this response coming in from Nitish Kumar finally, or maybe he's responded earlier also and I have missed it. It says, I have joined Union Bank of India as PO in 2014, but I'm preparing for CGL exams from 2012. Every time I'm able to qualify in Tier 1, but I'm unable to get through Tier 2 exam. Well, Nitish, I think I actually like your approach. You're already working as, you joined PO as a PO in Union Bank of India in 2014, you said. So already 2 years now, 2.5 years now that you've been working there. But you have always aspired to get into the government job, right, through the SSC CGL exam. And you have been preparing for that since 2012. Now, this is very, very interesting. And I think all of you should, pay attention to this. So, Nitish, if you have been preparing for this exam since 2012, you would have appeared some 4 times already. And you have made a point that you clear the Tier 1 exam each time. But Tier 2 is where you get stuck, right? You're not able to get through that. So, the point that I really like is you have not given up on your aspiration. You're motivated. You're still motivated, which is very, very good and hard to find, right? So good. I think all of you and all of us should actually learn from this, right? I mean, 4 or 5 years already he's been taking that SSC CGL exam and he's still preparing for that. And I'm sure this time you'll do well. And you will crack not only the tier 1 exam, but also tier 2, right? Do the right things. Like I said, I've already mentioned about how to get ready for quantitative aptitude, right? So just do the right set of things, and I'm sure you will go to the next round this year, right? And I can see most of you mentioned that I've got the SMS. And if you have not got it, like I said, please go and update your mobile number. Pushkar Gupta has mentioned that please discuss the strategy to crack IBPS Q this year. Well, Pushkar, we have talked about this briefly in the beginning of the session, right? Where I've mentioned about the today's preparation section there. And I think I'll not repeat that. We will have a special session when this IBPS Q notification finally is released and discuss about how should you get ready for that exam, right? Let me see if you have anything else. Yeah, so a lot of interaction happening between you guys. I can see that you're talking in your regional languages, which is good. But if there are questions directed to me, I'll be happy. I mean, there are a lot of questions there, which I think we've already answered. So, and we have Nirmal Mandal here who says, I have joined Talent Sprint today itself. So, welcome Nirmal, welcome to Talent Sprint. I'm sure you will enjoy your learning and preparation using our platform. Yeah. Suresh Kumar says, how to change email ID in your site? Well, Suresh, this is more to do with support, but let me address this now that you have posted. You cannot change the email ID yourself. While you can update your phone number yourself, it gets updated automatically. Email ID change is not allowed by the user directly, but if there is really a challenge, you can drop a line to support@talentsprint.com, right? Our support team's email address is support@talentsprint.com. So you can always drop a line to support@talentsprint.com requesting them to change your email ID, and I'm sure they will help you out, right? So please do so if there's really a need. We have Ayubaz here who says, I'm not getting daily current affairs quiz. The last one was on June 9. I don't agree with this, Ayub, because I have myself seen the daily current affairs test or the quiz this morning for yesterday. So please go back and check your account once. And Nidhi has asked a question. Nidhi says, how can we calculate in mind? So Nidhi, I think we have this video on speed maths, the first video in quantitative aptitude, which talks about lots of techniques that you can use to do basic arithmetic calculations like percentages, multiplications, additions, subtractions, divisions, etc. mentally, right, without having to use pen and paper. So why don't you just go through those videos, learn all the techniques, and then just start practicing, right? It's all about getting used to. Initially, it will be difficult. You'll find that this is not the right way to do it. I am better off doing it on paper. But let me tell you, if you just do it for 21 days, 45 minutes every day, you are through. And I'm sure some of you might be wondering as to why 21 days, right? Why is it 21? Why not 20 or why not 1 month? So let me tell you, I have read somewhere that if you do something consistently for 21 days, it actually becomes a habit. And I know you may or may not be surprised if I tell you that I spend time doing calculations even today. And I don't do it. It just happens, right? It has become second nature. So because I used to do it initially, and now it happens automatically. I mean, it's like, when you're, you don't have to do it consciously. So the belief is that if you do it for 21 days continuously without fail, right? You just have to follow it religiously for 21 days, 45 minutes to 60 minutes every day, and then it's a habit. It happens, and with each day passing by, you will find that yes, you're improving, right? So start with simple calculations and just continue doing so. Okay, somebody has asked me a question that have you ever cracked a bank job? Well, I think I discussed about this in the beginning of the session, right? I did. I had appeared for SBI 2 exam, which was in 2012, if I'm not wrong, 2012 or 2011 maybe, yeah. And yes, I had cleared that exam, but not the interview. So yes, I have appeared for a bank exam, but they did not find me interesting enough to select as a probationary officer, and that's what motivated me. I said, if you don't take me, I'll send people. So my students will come and work with you. Don't worry. Anyways, all right. So Kundan Kumar is also in the chat here, and he says, "Can any WhatsApp group be created in Talent Sprint, right, for discussion?" So Kundan, I think if you're not aware already, there are lots of WhatsApp groups that we already have. Each session that we do, we find students who have created their own WhatsApp group. So you can also be a part of it. And by the way, there's this one WhatsApp number that we have, which you can subscribe to, and you will get daily content updates and alerts from Talent Sprint. Okay. So I think almost 1 hour now that we've been discussing this, and I'm actually glad to see all of you participating in the chat so well and keeping it so engaged. And there are too many questions for me to actually handle. So Kamal Priyadarshini has mentioned that the TR report coming to my mail is always mentioned that you have not taken the test, but I usually take the test. It's always coming like, from the starting itself. So Kamal Priyadarshini, I think I would just request you to write a mail to support@talsman.com, and they will make sure that your problem is fixed, right? Okay, so Sai Kiran, this is again about me, but yeah, so Sai Kiran says, we are curious to know about your educational and professional career, means your education, qualification, your first profession, and your way to Talent Sprint, etc. Well, I thought I will not need to explain all this because that wouldn't really help, but I know now that I'm asking a lot of questions to you guys, you would also like to know a little bit. So let me tell you what exactly has happened with me in my journey to Talent Sprint. So education qualification, I'm a bachelor in technology in electrical and electronics engineering stream. On paper, right? Don't ask me questions about induction motors, right? I only know about this induction session. In fact, I didn't know about this induction session as well, right? So you cannot be asking me how does an induction motor start or anything to do with electrical engineering, right? So I'm a BTech in electrical and electronics engineering on paper, and yeah, I always wanted to. At least when I started preparing, got into my engineering college, I thought I should be working for some core electrical company, which which did not happen immediately after my qualification. I mean graduation. So I was left with no choice, right? Of course, there were a couple of options in the IT sector, but I thought I don't belong there, and I never got into them into those companies. And then then I think not I think, but then I went to this college called NIT Allahabad. I'm sure those who have done their engineering would know about it. NIT is National Institute of Technology Allahabad, which is again good college, of course. And they have this stream called power electronics and ASCI, which is supposedly the best in the country, I mean, in those days. So I don't know what made me get into that college. I got to my gate rank, and after joining the college, I realized that the only job that I can secure here is as a teacher, as a professor. You know, these universities like Sharda University or the lovely professional universities of the world come there, recruit these guys, and we become assistant professor. And I was like, no, I don't want to get into teaching, and I dropped out from that college. I mean, I was there for about 30-40 days, and when I started getting that sense that yes, I have no choice but to become a teacher here after I finished my masters in power electronics, I said I'm running away, and I just dropped out, took whatever certificates I could collect, and came out of that college. Then got some opportunity to do some sessions in aptitude. I honestly, I just wanted to make some money. In fact, pocket money I thought would be not a good idea to go back to your father and ask him for money. So I saw this ad in some newspaper which said, we are looking for trainers who can teach aptitude. So I thought, let me give it a try, because I thought I was good in aptitude. I didn't know if I would teach so well, but yeah, I should give it a shot. So I went there, I was interviewed, I was made to take a test, I was asked to give a demo, and all went well. They really liked it, and they is not Talentsmith, it was some other company then. And the journey started there. So like I said, only to make some money I got into teaching. I never wanted to do that. But when I started getting good feedback, very good feedback from students, I thought this is what I should do, right? And with each session that I took, I thought, yes, this is fun, right? And I'm liking it. I should be doing this, because it feels great when somebody comes back to you and says that, I've learned it, right? And it was so difficult earlier, but now it's easy, right? Now I follow that. So I thought, yes, this is where the calling is. And I continued doing so. And yes, that was kind of a freelancing job. And one fine day I get to meet Sridhar from Talentsmith. Sridhar is the vice president in Talentsmith. I get to meet him in a subway through a common friend, right, accidentally. And then he said that we would like to do something like this for bank and SSC exams, or bank exams prep then. Well, initially I was not convinced about online learning. I thought that's a bad idea, and I rejected. But then, he's very good in convincing people. So he somehow convinced me. I got into this, and yes, this journey started. And today is where we are. I think a long way to go. We have a lot of other things to be done, and as a company, Talentsmith has a target of scaling 1 million people, or making 1 million people employable by 2020. So we are working on that target, and yes, I'm sure with the right things that we are doing. Of course, there are mistakes that we have done. We are correcting those and trying to be directionally right, so that we achieve our mission of 1 million by 2020. So that's about it. Yeah, so I think a lot of you have worked in different IT companies, and some of you have also worked in banks. So great to see that so many working professionals using our platform. And I'm sure the advantage that you have is anytime, anywhere learning, right? So I think we'll kind of close it here. But before that, let me ask you, why did you join talent sprint. I mean, this is one thing that I usually ask anyone I meet, right? What made you join an online program? You could have also enrolled for a classroom program nearby, right? So just give me some response to that, and then I think we'll call it a day, right? So why did you join a classroom program, right? There are classroom programs available. There are coaching centers in your towns, and all these towns that you have mentioned, right? Kolkata, Jaipur, Lucknow, Delhi, Bangalore. We have lots and lots of coaching centers there for bank exams and SSC exams. So why did you choose to join or go for an online program when there's already an option available, right? Deepak says, save time in traveling, right? Any more responses there? Suresh Kumar says, I feel sorry in joining. Well, that's disappointing. What do you mean? I mean, if you can throw some light there, I would like to work on the problem that you have, right? Why do you say that you felt sorry about joining? Do you mean joining talent sprint? Suresh Kumar, please throw some light. I would like to know more about it. Rupesh says, for you, I have joined. Okay, that's good. Flexibility, I'm sure, is the most common answer here, right? I mean, Pravan Kumar says flexibility. John Master says it's about the comfort. Navya says because I can prepare according to my convenient time. Sai Kiran says by seeing your videos in YouTube. Okay, right. Amit Negi says saving time, time constraints, study anywhere, anytime. Hitesh says no good classroom program in my town. Okay, so that's honest. No good classroom program. And Ravi Balaji says there are dummy coaching centers in our area. Okay. Yeah, and Kamala Priyadarshini has also mentioned that in my city there is no good coaching institute, so I have joined Talent Sprint. Just because of you, because I can learn according to my convenient time. Suresh Kumar says Cube's problem asking from yesterday. Well, I think looks like I have missed your comment, Suresh. So you are disappointed because you've been asking for Cube's problem from yesterday, and looks like we haven't taken up. So Suresh, I think the one thing is you have to post your questions in the discussion forum. I mean, subject-related questions, and we would ensure that we answer your queries there. And I actually don't remember to have seen a Cube's question coming to the chat. I mean, not that I would have answered it if you have posted here in the chat, but I would request you to just go back to the discussion forum of the respective subject and topic and post it there. And if you have already posted it there, please wait till your next problem solving session. We will try and take that up, right? Venkat says, I have a kid of 1 year. I couldn't go for classroom. I saw your videos in YouTube and it was really good, so I joined. Yeah, we can listen to the class as many times as you want. I mean, that's one advantage that you have, right? I mean, not that I'm against classroom coaching, but there, if the topic is over, it's over, right? But here, you can play it as many times you want till you perfect the concept. So that's definitely an advantage. Okay, we can see a single video 1,000 times, which is the most important advantage. Rudra Aditya has mentioned that. Smart techniques is what Gayatri says, right? Praveen says everything is here. Abhi says the explanations are uncomparable, right? Sagar Singh says talent stream, to be honest, just because of Sylvia ma'am and the teachers that we have here. Yeah. Nitish Raj has mentioned he's got to know about talent sprint from one of his friend and liked it, so he joined. Good. Murli has asked me that have you given the RBI Grade B exam? Well, not so far, Murli, and I don't think I would be giving an RBI Grade B exam at least till the next year because the exam is only tomorrow and I have not applied for it. Yeah. All right. So good. So a lot of good feedback, things that I've got to know about why you have joined Talent Sprint. I think flexibility is the most common and most important reason, right? anytime, anywhere, any device learning, right? You can learn at any time you want. I remember I had interacted with Madhuri Shukla, who's got selected as a probationary officer in IDBI. This was last year, right? And she's working as a officer there in IDBI now. And she used to tell me that she was working in TCS, right? If I'm not wrong. And after the regular job timings, which is 10 to 5, 10 to 6 or whatever, coming back, and she was married then. So coming back home and going or thinking of going to a coaching center itself was scary, right? I mean, you are already drained out and you just cannot go to a coaching center and prepare. And timings also becomes a problem. So she found Talisman as a solution. And the best part is you can learn anytime you want. I mean, like middle of the night, 3 a.m. you get up. If you feel like learning time and work, just switch on your computer and you're there. Not that you guys are doing it. I know you guys don't prepare at 3 a.m., right? But you can do that, right? Nitish Raj says, in my city, every coaching center used to teach Hindi, even English subject. But Nitish, I think it happens, right? I don't know which city you belong to. I don't remember which city you belong to, but there are students who actually demand that teaching has to be done in Hindi. I mean, I'm sure there are coaching centers in this, Hindi belt of the country, right? Where it's obvious that it'll be taught in Hindi, like our Hindi videos, right? I mean, we also have Hindi videos for English language because it is easier to follow or understand when something is taught in your mother tongue, right? Or in a language that is convenient to you, right? You can take the exam in English, but easy to understand that in Hindi. But yeah, if you are not comfortable, then good, you had this choice. And I am, of course, doing some selective reading of questions here. Pushkar Gupta has asked me a question, which I think it's actually funny, and I would not like to share that. Yeah, would have been a better off person if I, it's not about the monetary benefit actually, right? To be very honest, and this is not because I'm talking to you in front of the camera or I have to tell you something else, but I think for me, what is a bigger compensation is when you guys come back and say that, I've got a bank job. And, somebody very recently had asked me that, what has been one of the best achievements that you have, ever made, or, one achievement that I have to talk about. And, while I said, I don't think I've really achieved what I want to, but when I was insisted to tell at least one example, the one thing that came to my mind is, one of our students, Barun Kanti Vaidya, who's from this place called Agartala in Tirupura, right? I mean, the northeastern part of the country. Now, what is really inspiring for me and what really motivates me is, this feedback that we get from students, right? So this is one fine day I was in office Saturday morning doing some preparation, right, working on something, and Barun Kanti Vaidya just shows up. I mean, I have not seen him ever. I mean, I did not see him till then. I would have probably interacted him through live sessions. And understand, we are in Hyderabad. He was from Agartala, which is at least 2,000 kilometers away from Hyderabad. He has come all the way just to meet us because he got selected as a probationary officer in Union Bank of India. And believe me, that made not only my day, but months together. I mean, even today when I think of it, it actually gives me goosebumps, right? Because who else would come all the way to just meet you and thank you for the job that he has got, right? And again, I would say that what we did was only 10%. It is his hard work that paid off. But yeah, that is what motivates, and that's a bigger compensation. So Pushkar, I think, the answer to your question is that's my salary, right? And I'm sure everybody at Talisman works for that. I mean, there are other trainers here who feel equally inspired when we get to hear such success stories, right? Or a very recent example is Shomu Banerjee, right? I'm sure all of you know about Shomu Banerjee. He's been a regular participant in these live sessions. He's cracked not one but 6 bank jobs in 1 year, and he was here only a month back to meet us. And that again was a very, very inspiring story. So yeah, that's what keeps us going. And I'm sure we'll have to scale a lot. We'll do that if you guys do what is meant to be done by you, right? Remember, 90% is in your hands. All right. So shall we close it here? Abhishek says, I want to meet you after cracking this year's IBPSPO. I would love to meet you all, right? And that's the reason I'd mentioned if you guys are from Haldwani, please do meet us on the 27th of this June. In fact, we're also planning to travel to Delhi. I am not sure about the dates yet, so I'm not committing anything. But yeah, people from Delhi, I will let you know. Please, I'm not sure if we'll do a seminar or anything like that there or a session there, but we will definitely catch up over coffee in Delhi, right? I mean, if you belong to that part of the country. Okay, so really glad about this first session. I'm sure we will improve as we move forward. The format will fall in place as we do more such sessions. But the whole idea is to just have a casual interaction. Again, next time when we meet, I will not be asking your location and all. Of course, there will be people who will join the next session for the first time, but we will figure out what needs to be done as we go forward. Murli, by the way, has mentioned that he's been trying for the SSC CGL for 1 year, but not been able to crack it. Any suggestion? Murli, first of all, don't feel dejected, right? It's only one attempt that you've given. There was one other guy who was mentioning that his work, I forgot, I think it was Nitish Kumar, who says he's been working in Union Bank of India as an assistant manager for last 3 years now, right? From 2014. And since 2012, he has been trying. So all I would say is give one more try, right? I mean, don't give up. Like they say, right? There's like a boxing match. You don't fail when you fall down. You fail when you refuse to get up. So give one more try, and I'm sure you can crack this next time, right? Rupesh Nivas says, please come to Mumbai. Well, I'll definitely let you know, guys, when we visit Mumbai, or whenever we come to Mumbai next. And looks like we have some people from Delhi here. Prateek says, please visit Delhi. So Prateek, like I said, we are planning to do something in Delhi, and I would let you know once we are there. When will you come to Bangalore? Well, I think more and more options coming in here. We will let you know, right? Wherever we travel, we'll definitely let you know. Chalo. So I think we'll close it here. Since this is what about Lucknow? Sagar, Lucknow. Well, Lucknow is again one place where we wish to do something, and we will be there soon, right? All right. So I think since this is a casual discussion, it will just go on forever. But the idea was to close it in 1 hour. We are already at 8:30, 6:30, so more than 75 minutes spent already. I think it can. Okay. Okay, we have someone here who says only 1.5 hours. Shikha. Well, Shikha, if you have any questions, you can post it here. I would love to answer your questions as well. But otherwise, I think we should close it, right? And options coming in, more options coming in. Haryana, Lucknow, Durgapur. So I would request our team to note all these places, and we'll make sure that we visit as many places as possible this 1 year, and get to interact with you. Tamil Nadu again. So Shika, waiting for your question. If you don't have anything, we'll close it here, right? You have to visit the whole of India. Yeah. Okay, Rishika Menon mentioned that it's already 8:30 by habit. Okay, so looks like you are following our sessions very seriously, Rishika, but not out of habit. It was not something that came out because I'm used to saying it. I looked at my timer here on the laptop. It said 18:30, and I read it as 8:30. So that was it. But yeah, good observation. Sagar says, what is that thing that has influenced? I thought I'll be the one who'll be asking questions, you guys have to respond, right? But looks like this is my interview, right? You're asking me, a lot of questions here. Sagar says, what is that one thing that has influenced utmost in your life? Well, I think, like I said, just to give an example, I talked about Barun Kantivedya, right? It was really very, very powerful for me. I still feel very, very. I actually sometimes take pride in that. It makes you feel good about what you do, right? And it's really motivating. I think what I really liked is, while I might be talking only about Barun here, Barun Kantivedya, but many people have visited, right? And each time we feel that, why should he be traveling all this way, or why should she be traveling all this way to just meet us, right? I think that's really influencing. And the best part in Barun's case was, one is he was, of course, from that corner of the country, and second thing is, he just started. I was like, I don't know if I would have done that for my teacher, or for my for someone whom I have learned from. I have had many teachers in my life, of course. I've learned a lot from them, right? And not just in terms of academics, but also in terms of the right attitude or personality there. But that was like, wow, he did not contact you. He just started from his hometown, assuming that he'll be able to meet us in Hyderabad. And like, what if you were not there that day in office, or what if you're not in town that day? He said, क्या करते फिर घूम लेते हैदराबाद. I like, wow, this is really nice. So powerful. Anyway, okay, Shikha says, if you have to give one advice to anyone preparing for bank exams, what would it be? Well, I think I've been giving a lot of advices since the beginning of this session, and also to all the live sessions that we take, right? But I think the one advice that I would give is, don't give up. Like I said, for every single job out there, there are 1,000 people writing this exam, usually, right? Especially when it comes to SBIPO. So it's obvious that 999 will get disqualified, and it's very easy to be a part of that group of 999, right? So you have to do things differently. You have to think differently to be that one person who will get that one job out of 1,000 who are taking it, right? But I think don't feel dejected, right? Bounce back and learn from your mistakes. I think that's very important, right? While practice is definitely the key, the more you practice, the easier it gets, right? But I would say a failure is not a failure if you have learned something from that. So if you have not qualified in your SBIPO exam last year, don't worry. Sit back and think about what has gone wrong, right? You may be disappointed for a day or so, but then you have to come back. And I think this is what I learned from, again, to give you an example, Roshan Castellano, who had again come to meet us here in Hyderabad. And he was working in the Indian Air Force. He was working in the Indian Air Force for almost 11 years when he decided that I should work in a bank now. Now, Roshan told me that, and that's his true story, he was working in the Indian Air Force, and if you have watched his video, which is there in YouTube, he's mentioned that he was stationed at the Pathankot Airways. Now, you know what happened in Pathankot last year, right? And it was after that the security and everything there was beefed up, and he was of course there. He was working there as a technician, but when there is a situation like that, everybody has to be a part of the team which is handling it, right? So the challenge for him was that you never know when you'll get to prepare. This morning you get up, you may get a notice that for next 3 days you're not even going to step out of your airbase, right? Next morning when you get up, you find that today there's a uncalled drilling exercise. You just have to do it for 2 days, right? And what he told me was, सिर्फ जाने का टाइम होता है, आने का टाइम हमको नहीं पता है. Like सुबह 8 बजे अगर कहीं पहुंचना है तो पहुंचना है, बट आपके ऑफिस जैसा टाइम नहीं है जहां पर आप 9 बजे और 6 बजे वापस चले जाओ, या फिर अगर बैंक में आप काम करोगे तो आपकी 10 to 4 वाली टाइमिंग है, राइट? हमारी सिर्फ जाने की टाइमिंग होती है, आने वाली टाइम नहीं होती, which I'm sure all of you agree with, right? I mean, आप अगर मिलिट्री में हो या फिर एयरफोर्स में हो या नेवी में हो तो आने का क्या ही टाइम होगा, राइट? एनीवन एटलीस्ट हम्बली, राइट? अभी तो यही गारंटी नहीं कि आएंगे या नहीं आएंगे, दैट आल्सो इज देयर. सो इन ऑल दीज डिफिकल्टीज ही थॉट, यू नो, क्लासरूम तो ऑब्वियसली चॉइस नहीं थी बिकॉज देयर इज नो टाइमिंग. आई मीन it would not be suitable. He enrolled for the online program, right? He figured out that Talentsmith is one option that he has. Learn through this platform, right? He used to keep himself up in the night because that's one time when he's finding time for himself, right? Again, if he's not involved in some other activity, right? It's not that आप अगर एयरफोर्स में या मिलिट्री में हो तो आपको, यू नो, रात को सोने को मिलेगा, शायद वो भी ना हो कई बार. सो ही सेज कि हाँ, मतलब रात में पढ़ लेते थे. He got selected in State Bank of India as a probationary officer, which, like I've been telling, is one of the most difficult exams, right? In fact, the toughest game in the country. I mean, 1,000 students for one job is, you know, what kind of competition we have. So he cracked SBI PU exam last year, right? You know what was best part about Roshan that I liked? And that again was very powerful. I learned it from him, and I always convey this to students through various channels, right? He says, I have got disqualified in 19 exams before that. I repeat, he failed 19 exams before finally getting selected as a probationary officer in State Bank of India. Now just imagine, while he might have failed in 19 exams, what is really worth appreciating is his dedication, right? He did not give up. He's like, and it was fun to talk to him, right? He was like, you know, जब कभी रिजल्ट देखो डिसअपॉइंटमेंट था, यार इस बार भी नहीं हुआ. 2 दिन तक मूड खराब रहता था, दारू शारू पी लेते थे, लगता था कि यार अब नहीं हो पाएगा, राइट? 2 दिन कुछ पढ़ाई नहीं की, एंड देन लगा कि यार नहीं, ऐसे थोड़ी ना होगा, प्रैक्टिस करनी पड़ेगी, राइट? क्योंकि मुझे अब इसमें काम नहीं करना है, मुझे, यू नो, आई वांट टू चेंज माय करियर पाथ. सो लाइक, हां, दारू शारू पी ली, 1-2 दिन थोड़ा डिसअपॉइंटेड थे, बट देन वी केम बैक, राइट? सो आई थिंक, यू नो, you should also follow him. Following as in, I'm not saying that jaake daru piyo, but the idea is don't give up, right? Again, you have to repeat, it's like that boxing match, right? You don't fail when you fall down, you fail when you refuse to give up. So failing 19 exams, I think 19 was the number, if I'm not wrong, right? But even if it is 9, I think it's great, because 9 times fail होने के बाद आप कैसे expect कर सकते हो कि आप crack करोगे कोई exam? It's hard. I mean, you actually get totally disappointed, right? But he says, हाँ, 1-2 दिन रहता था disappointment, फिर लग जाते थे काम पे, फिर लग जाते थे पढ़ाई में, then, you know, finally SBI PU, and it's like SBI PU का जब रिजल्ट आया तो यकीन ही नहीं हो रहा था कि यार क्रैक कर लिया, वो भी SBI PU जैसा एग्जाम. मतलब मैंने 4 बार देखा कि इस बार कैसे सिलेक्ट हो गया. मैंने अपने फ्रेंड्स को दिखाया कि भाई देख के बताओ सच में सिलेक्ट हुआ या नहीं. So yeah, that's the point. Don't give up. Who would ask this question? Shikha. So yeah, one advice I have is never give up. And not just in your preparation, but anything in life. क्या है, क्या ही होगा. Also, I think if you can inculcate this attitude, which is like, ठीक है, नहीं होगा तो नहीं होगा, then you get yourself out of that nervousness, right? This may not sound right to all of you, but sometimes I also suggest students, and I have practiced this myself, right? When you go for an exam or when you go for an interview, it's like, go with the mindset that ठीक है, कौन सी लाइफ रुकने वाली है अगर नहीं भी सिलेक्ट होते हैं तो, एंड यू ईज योरसेल्फ, दैट प्रेशर गोज आउट कि हाँ, नहीं भी सिलेक्ट होते हैं तो क्या होने वाला है. इट्स इंपॉर्टेंट, बट देन यू विल बी एबल टू परफॉर्म बेटर. एंड आई थिंक वन थिंग दैट यू शुड look at is, I'm sure most of you are from engineering colleges, you said, right? I mean, you have done your engineering. So during campus placements, I had seen, if, or even placements that we have a Talentsmith for IT career prep, right? Okay, you know, when somebody has got his first offer, it's easier for him to crack the second job and the third job, right? Not because he's very good in academics. I mean, with due respect, he's good in, you know, academics, he's done well, and the fact that he has got the first job shows that he has proven his mettle. But what actually makes it a lot more easier the second time is because इसको कोई चिंता नहीं है अगर नहीं भी सेलेक्ट होता है तो, यार एक जॉब तो है, दूसरा होगा नहीं होगा. So you are relaxed, and when you are relaxed, you do well. So sometimes ना आर्टिफिशियली इसको इनकलकेट करना पड़ता है. मतलब जॉब नहीं है फिर भी ऐसा बिहेव करो कि हाँ है, आप नहीं दोगे तो क्या होगा. I mean, don't show that attitude, but, you know, have that confidence. So that really helps. Yeah, I actually wish I could get Roshan for one of the sessions to interact with you. Like we had interacted with Shomu Banerjee a couple of months back. So we'll also find Roshan to find some time and talk to you about his story and tell him what. Tell his story about success story to you, right? I'm sure that will be motivating. I mean, I'm sure me telling it itself motivates me, and also I am assuming that it has motivated you, and you would definitely feel good. हाँ, दारू मत पियो यार, मैंने दारू का एग्जांपल गलत दे दिया ऐसे लग रहा है। ऐसे नहीं कि दारू पीने के बाद आप इसलिए पियो, क्रैक करोगे। Thiru says is greater than Gajni if it is 19. So Thiru, like I said, I don't exactly remember if it is 19 or 9, but yeah. What else? Abhishek has asked a question to Rishika. Which place are you from in Maharashtra? Abhishek, you are from Andhra Pradesh or Telangana, right? क्या करना है आपको ऋषिक के place से? And who else? Manish Bhattar says 30. What is 30? तानिया से सर बस वही करना है लाइफ में जिसमें खुशी मिले, एक ही लाइफ है, खुशी से जीना है। वेल गुड, बट बहुत लोगों को वैसे खुशी मिलती नहीं है प्रिपरेशन में, तो डोंट गिव अप ऑन योर प्रिपरेशन। हाँ, कुछ हार्ड वर्क भी करना होगा, उसके बाद तो ठीक है। ओके, Manish Bhattar, Indore. I mean, like a lot of comments which I don't connect to. Looks like you guys are just interacting with each other. But yeah, हाँ, तानिया वाली philosophy follow करो जरूर, लेकिन एग्जाम पे भी फोकस करना है, right? Somebody says speak in English. Oh, sorry, I think I got into this Hindi language all of a sudden because I was thinking about Roshan, and Roshan मुझसे हिंदी में बात कर रहा था, like सर दारू पी ली उस रात को, and then 2 दिन तक उदास रहा, and then वापस आ गया। सर यार मैं भी ऐसे ही बोलता हूँ, but ठीक है, the moral of the story is don't give up. Hindi or English is fine. We have Pinky here says I am also wearing the same color combo today. Okay, good. And Sagar Singh is responding to Thiru. What is your native place? Somebody says confidence matters. Huh? Confidence definitely matters. Murli says, by seeing this session, I'll be eagerly waiting for the next induction session. But Murli, I don't know what we'll be doing in the next induction session. This was like some impromptu discussion that we're doing. And let's see. Amit Kumar says, hi sir, I'm late. You're not late, Amit, you're too late. We are about to close the session now. We had planned to do it for like an hour, but it's already close to 2 hours now. But never mind. There's nothing that you've missed. Suraj Singh says, please tell something about your life journey. Suraj, I think more than my life journey, you should look at this journey of these guys, right? Some examples they have taken. I'm sure a lot of other successful students that we have, right? 5,166 students already who've got their dream bank a government job through our platform. So, look at their stories and get motivated. Motivation is like important, I know. And it should happen every day. I think if you remember during SBAPU exam, I told you, right? Somebody had asked me like, how should I keep myself motivated? Because, I am motivated now, but in a couple of days, I go back to the same state. I will like, yaar, kaun padega? What difficult hai? Humse na ho payega? That starts sinking in. So it's actually important that you keep yourself motivated every day. And I think the one suggestion I had during SBAPU, I don't know if it would work now. It depends on how they release the notification, but simple idea. It may sound funny, but if actually money motivates you, you take a printout of that SBAPU notification, and this is one section there which talks about emoluments, right? How much will you get paid? if you get selected as a probationary officer. So the highest that you can earn is like 12.94 if I'm not wrong, right? This year's package at SBI. Of course, depends on the circle that you get selected for. So I think it यार बहुत सही है, मतलब 13 lakhs per annum ऐसे ही नहीं मिलेगा, and it's clear कि why so many people apply for SBI exam, right? So I think if I were writing the exam as a student, I would ensure that every night before I go to sleep, I keep that notification under my pillow, and as soon as I get up in the morning, I'll pull that out and look at that salary part. यार ये तो चाहिए, मतलब 13 lakh per annum is not a joke, right? If that motivates you, otherwise तो और कुछ करना ही पड़ेगा, right? Okay, Surya Prakash has given some feedback here. He says, kindly ask the support team to pick up the call. After spending 10 minutes, I lost. Oh, I'm so sorry. After spending 10 minutes, I lost my mobile balance. It happened to me twice. Okay, Surya Prakash, apologies for that inconvenience caused. You have lost your mobile balance a couple of times because support team did not pick your call. I would, I know that there's some challenge with the support team in the current state of things because a lot of tickets pending, but we have set up a process, and very soon you will get your query resolved. I would request you not to call again, but just drop a line, write an email to support@turnsman.com, and your query will be resolved at the earliest possible, right? We honestly accept the feedback. You are one, we have got that feedback from other students as well, that support has not been able to respond in time to our queries, and the turnaround time is like increasing, right? But we have taken adequate measures and actions now, and now as it doesn't mean that we are neglecting it earlier, but yes, it has been considered as the top priority, and we have people who are dedicatedly working for it, and I'm sure very soon you'll find that support has become a lot more efficient, and your support related issues will get resolved at the earliest possible, right? Thanks for that feedback, and I'm sure you'll get a call soon. Satish says, which laptop you are using presently? Well, which laptop is this? Is Dell Core 5, but why? Latitude, by the way, Dell Latitude 3450. How to bounce back? How to bounce back? You'll have to fail for that first, right? And I hope you don't need to bounce back, because if you can crack it in the first attempt, then you're done. How to bounce back? Let me figure an answer out for that, and then we'll let you know. Okay, and Thiru has mentioned that teaching in English is also one reason to join Talentsmith, except other online platforms. Yeah. Thanks for that feedback. We do have videos in Hindi as well for people who find Hindi to be, Hindi easy to understand. But I do agree with you that, the southern part of the country, it's difficult for them to follow Hindi language. So English is important. Deepak says it would be great if you would have one successful aspirant next to you and answer our questions. Well, I think that's a great idea. And Deepak, if you recall, we had done something similar a month ago when Shomu Banerjee was here, right? We had done a Facebook live session with him, and he was answering your questions. And that's actually the plan. We will see to it that we have some successful student who can sit next to us and answer your queries. Because when it comes from them, it actually becomes even more valuable, right? Because I know sometimes I also feel that when we say this has to be done, this is the right thing to do, maybe you don't feel like really doing it, because you have not taken a bank exam. We have not taken a bank exam, right? Somebody who has done it himself will create a lot more impact. So I take that feedback, and I would also like to mention that yes, it's on cards. We are looking at ways to do that. The person may not be next to us, but it will be. We'll make sure that he or she is virtually available in the same session. All right. Yeah. And we'll probably see to that people who sit next to us are. I just kind of recall what Pinky had mentioned, that she's also wearing the same color combo. So we'll see that we get people who are wearing same color combo, so that looks nice in the frame, right? So Pinky, I think you should work hard, crack a bank exam, get a bank job for yourself or a government job for yourself, and then join us in this session. It will be great to have you next to us and answer questions posted by your peers here, right? चलो, कौन है भैया? ईमा वॉटसन के बारे में कौन बात कर रहा है? क्या हो गया? वो नहीं आने वाली है. We're done? Yeah, I think we should close it here. Thank you once again for joining us in this session, which was called an induction session. I should find a better name for this. But yeah, it was good interacting with all of you, and I'm hoping that you also found it useful. Definitely no subject-related discussion here, but it was just to kind of catch up and chat. So, and Gayatri, you looks like you've posted this some 20 times already. I think I had answered this, right? What is your native place? I am from Telangana, born and brought up in Telangana, and yeah, so that's the answer. I thought I'd answered it, so I was probably avoiding it. Yeah, Abhishek has also mentioned the same thing, right? How many times will you pose the same question? Gayatri is very curious. Gayatri, Telangana is the answer. Hyderabad is the answer, to be specific. Chalo, so anything else, or should we close it here? My coffee is also over, by the way. Yeah. I'll have to go grab some more coffee. By the way, make sure that you watch the India-Pakistan match, the final Champions Trophy match, because that's an important part of your preparation. How will it help you? You'll relax, enjoy. We hope India wins the match. And that again motivates you. Yeah. Sagar, since we want the next induction session next week, well, I'm not sure if you'll be doing it next week or the week next to that. I think it has been updated in your events calendar. We'll share the details with you, right? We'll also send you a SMS reminder for the same. Okay. Abhishek says better name was Man Ki Baat. That's okay. That's not something that I've named this. Man Ki Baat is, first of all, not. I don't know if you're supposed to use it or not, but it's not Man Ki Baat, definitely. Try to conduct more sessions in the near future. June 30 is the next induction class. June 30 is the next induction class. Looks like Aditya has checked the calendar already. June 30. Yeah. So shall we close it here? Any feedback about the session or anything that you'd like us to include as a part of this? It will be great to hear that, so that we can incorporate when we meet next time. And आप चली जाते हैं, मतलब Friday evening क्या ही करते हैं, चलते हैं, you guys party नहीं, prepare. And those who have your exam tomorrow, RBI Grade D, all the very best. And like I said, relax. जो होगा देखा जाएगा, right? Are there any further exams to get permanent job after you get selected as PO? Well, no. There are multiple exams that you can take up when you're already working as a probationary officer to expedite the process of promotion. But there's nothing really to make your job permanent, right? It's not that. Okay, so looks like okay. The one feedback that I have is we have to have this so-called induction session with SSC cleared student of talent sprint, and we'll try and do that, right? I mean, I've already told you guys that we are working on. Thiru has mentioned that please inform Sylvia ma'am to take care of herself. Well, I'll definitely pass that message. I hope Sylvia is watching this session. If not, we will. I'll contact her right after this session and let her know that you guys want her to. Even otherwise, she would take it. Don't worry, because she has to come and take the session tomorrow. When is your birthday? Well, my birthday is. But why? How will that matter? My birthday, by the way, is May 1 every year. So you can wish me next year. Yeah, Sylvia ma'am will be back with good health very soon. So thank you for the best wishes, right? Okay, so let's close it here. It's 7 p.m. already. Thank you once again for joining us in this session. This is like a no agenda session. It was great interacting with you. It would be great to interact with you in person, right? So I hope all of you crack the bank or SSC exams as soon as possible, and then we catch up sometime, right? I mean, either here or at your place, and you know, get to know more about how did you perform, what was your success story, and share it with other fellow students so that they get motivated. And yes, before I leave, I would like to remind again about our visit to Haldwani on the 27th of June for a free seminar, and then Delhi's next. We'll keep you posted about the dates and time and the venue through our social media channels, YouTube and Facebook, and also we will contact you over SMS, right? So thanks once again, and take very good care of yourselves. It'd be great if you can share your valuable feedback about the session and what else would you like to include here, so that we can make it a lot better. I have a lot of questions to ask, but I think we will continue with those in the next session. All right. So thanks once again. Take very good care of yourselves, and I'll see you all in the next session. Take care.